Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be talking about the season 1 finale of Andor. And before I get into my review, just wow. What an amazing episode. But if you haven't watched this episode yet, please watch it first. This review will include some spoilers, so please watch this episode. You will not regret it. Some of the best Star Wars content that's ever been produced. It was absolutely amazing. With that being said, I'll dive right in, and if you haven't guessed at the beginning of my review, I absolutely loved the season finale of Andor. It's definitely my favorite episode of the season. I think I'm pretty confident in saying this. It's now it is my favorite episode of Star Wars television, period. I think it definitely tops a couple of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian. I think now I'd probably say season 1 of Andor probably tops either the seasons of The Mandalorian, which what were my favorite kind of seasons of Star Wars content on TV. So Andor, the entire first season was amazing, but they really nailed it with this season finale. Bringing back all the action, all the various story points, except Mon Mothma's, to Ferrix, and seeing how it's all interacting. This might be the most suspenseful episode of TV I've ever watched. You didn't know what's going to happen. I mean, good thing with all these characters, other than obviously Andor, that we don't really have any relation to in future content, we really don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen to any of these individuals. All you know is obviously Andor is going to make it out safely. You just don't know how, but all these other characters, both on the Rebel side and the Imperial side, no clue what's going to happen. So you see obviously various Imperial agents, soldiers, citizens of Ferrix, rebels. Sometimes the rebels, Imperials, and citizens of Ferrix all have the same goal. A lot of times they have very different goals. You have citizens of Ferrix who are very much on the pro-Andor side. You have a citizen of Ferrix who is ratting Andor out just to try to make money. You have Andor arriving back. You have all these characters getting on Ferrix, and the entire time you just do not know what is going to happen. Throughout the episode, I constantly had to kind of stop or breathe, Kyle, relax. It's just TV, because it was very much like, I just don't know what's going to happen. You just feel like any minute it is going to explode. The choice of having that character building a bomb while you're seeing what everybody's up to in Ferrix, the Imperials, the regular citizens, as everybody's kind of plotting about what's going to happen next. The choice of having that character make a bomb was so brilliant, because Ferrix really at this point it truly is a bomb waiting to explode. And I don't think anybody on either side really understands this at that point. I think the Imperials understand how serious the situation on Ferrix has become. I don't think even the citizens on Ferrix really understand how close they are to exploding against Imperial rule until it actually happens. Even the rebels, Luthen and his agents don't, I think, really understand what is fixing to happen. They're just there to try to kill Andor. They don't understand that this is a tipping point for basically open rebellion to start against the Empire, which it's just amazing how they portrayed this episode. Loved all aspects of it. Throughout this series, we've been exposed to some of the best acting and best monologues we've ever seen in Star Wars. Marvelous funeral speech, absolutely amazing. I think some people have been complaining about the choice of having her to die off scene. I think this funeral speech makes that worth it, because I think if we'd seen her die on scene, some of the emotional punch of the speech would not have been there, because this really does serve as her goodbye to everyone. And if we'd seen her dying kind of saying some goodbye remarks on her deathbed, I think this speech would have lost a little bit of its punch. Amazing speech, and something that I just wasn't expecting a scene like that. I was expecting the funeral to kind of serve as some sort of tipping point to kind of start some sort of bigger action. I don't know if I was expecting a full-fledged riot borderline rebellion to take place, and I definitely was expecting that speech aspect of it. I thought there'd be somebody, one of the citizens of Ferrix would maybe say a speech, and maybe the Imperials would overstep their bounds, and that would kind of get things started. I was not expecting her to give that speech. So Marva's speech, I think, is going to go down as one of the top moments in Star Wars history. It was absolutely amazing. Just the funeral march, where you have the the timekeeper begin starting and completely catching the Imperials off guard. But the funeral starting early, and obviously the citizens of Ferrix have decided, like, we're going to do what we wanted to do. You're not going to stop us from our mourning. This funeral march was absolutely amazing. Again, building up the tension, not knowing what's going to happen. Seeing the brick that's the the custom of Ferrix, and Marva, her remains being carried in this brick's amazing. The droid, you're just so nervous about what's going to happen to the droid, and then he projects Marva's speech, and it's just amazing. Then the Imperial's overreacting. Then you're so worried what's going to happen to the droid. And then when the droid's pushed over by Imperial, the citizens of Ferrix just exploding. Marva's brick being used as a weapon against the Imperials was absolutely brilliant. Everything about this episode, the way it unfolded, was amazing. And the fact that Andor, we see his transformation this season. Beginning the season, he's just concerned about himself. How am I getting out of here? Please help me. To at this point, when he comes back and finds out that Bix is in prison and being tortured, at that point, he no longer cares about games. He's like, I'm going to get my friend out of here. So seeing that aspect of the storyline, amazing. Then at the end, when all his friends are getting ready to escape the planet, he's like, all right, y'all go. Here's how you get safe. I have something else to take care of. I didn't really know what he was going to do at that point. Honestly, I thought it might have to do with the Imperials. Maybe he was going to try to go after somebody, or maybe capture something. I wasn't really sure. I did not expect him to show up on Luthen's ship and basically him becoming a full-fledged rebel. And seeing that transformation from Luthen just a few minutes ago, his entire goal was to have Andor killed, and now you almost feel like Andor is probably his most trusted soldier, because basically Andor pretty much just handed him a gun. It's like, hey, if you don't trust me, kill me, otherwise I'm completely yours. Amazing, loved it. Only small complaint in the episode is I felt like the Mon Mothma stuff took us out of this last episode. Her storyline is still really important. I've loved the Mon Mothma stuff, but for this one, I felt like the episode had been better if it had just been solely focused on the stuff going on in Ferrix. The Mon Mothma stuff just didn't really feel like it fit. Now, I have a feeling I think she's going to play a much bigger role in season 2, so you kind of didn't need to do this to kind of set it up. So it probably, overall, for the entire series, it was probably the better choice. But for this episode, those moments just kind of took me out of it a little bit. So that was the only small complaint I had about this episode, which otherwise I thought was as close to a perfect episode of TV that you can make. Absolutely amazing. If this series doesn't get some major awards, it's a shame. I know a lot of times sci-fi just gets ignored. This deserves some Emmys for actors, writing, directing, everything you can think of. This series deserves a lot of recognition, and I hope it gets it. So let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of this episode, and what did you think of season 1? Did you love it as much as me? Did you think this was perhaps the best episode of Star Wars television ever made? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed all my reviews I've done of season 1 of Andor. A lot more content coming out on this channel on a weekly basis, be it Star Wars or book reviews. So I hope you stay tuned to this channel. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and may the Force be with you.